What is up, dudes? Welcome back to Motorsport Manager. During my lengthy hiatus, while we dealt with many issues that were issue related, I took the sage advice that a lot of you threw at me, which was to go away and learn how to play this game. Having now done that, I've picked myself up a championship. I've experimented around with quite a few things. I've tested some mods, as you can see here. The one at the top here, particularly interesting, that creates a £100 million sponsor that appears randomly, and my first attempts, I played with that turned on just so I could understand sort of the mid and late game mechanics a little bit better. What I was really surprised about, and it makes me feel a little bit better about my earlier playthrough, is that even with that money coming in pretty much constantly, it still takes quite some time to really get yourself in a position where your car is developed. Much like Grand Prix World, actually, investment you make today doesn't necessarily pay off today, and it can take quite a bit of time before you begin to feel the benefit of some of your decisions. So we're coming back to it for a fresh playthrough. This one's going to be all proper and done. The only mod I'm going to turn on is improved character development, because it's just good. I just like it. I think anything that adds to the staff and drivers is a good thing. All the other mods are turned off, as you can see here. We're going to crack on. We will be playing as our own team again, of course. So let's take care of some basic admin. Learn how to spell again. When's our birthday? We'll randomise that. Oh, 13th, that's a bit unlucky. Well, I'm a child of the 80s. Okay, I'm not going to mess around with the appearance too much. We've already, in the previous playthrough, figured out that's probably as good as it's going to get. We are going to create a new team, recommended for experienced players, which I still don't consider myself to be, but whatevs. We're going to start at the bottom again, which a lot of you recommended last time, and I ignored you. I still stand by my early assessment that actually diving straight into WMC presents the biggest challenge, but it's a challenge that is fairly difficult to overcome, whereas building up from the ERS, it seems to present a more sustainable pattern of growth for the team. I don't know if that is simply down to how I'm playing it, or if it's an absolute fact, but that was my experience. So we'll be diving into the ERS. I'm actually quite a fan of this anyway, because it does provide opportunity for sort of a... Oh, that's a manor-looking motherfucker, isn't it? It does apply sort of a shorter season, which will enable us to progress a bit more quickly through the seasons and see things develop, which is also good. We are going to revive our one-time team. I don't know if the Grand Prix is that really the... I think so. We'll stick with that. Let's try and pick ourselves a cool logo. You don't get a lot of option, to be honest. It would be cool to have a bit more going on in terms of logo design, but still. I think the most Eclipse-y one is that, isn't it? Now here, I have to figure out which way I want the colours in the logo. I think here should be... We want something kinda... Do I want more yellow, maybe? Yeah, sort of like that. Let me copy that code, because I find that I'm constantly getting it wrong. Same with the blue. We want a... I don't know how dark I want to go on the blue, to be honest. It's very hard to say. Let's try that for the logo. Oh no, here I want it the other way around. I want the sort of that with that. Yeah, look at that. Now we're going. And for car livery, there's actually quite a lot of good options in here that I quite like. I think there was one in the livery pack that I thought was a particularly good start. That's kind of nice. I do like that sort of geometric pattern. I think that's kind of cool. But we'll go with this, I think, and the primary colour will be that deep, darky sort of blue. The secondary colour we already know. Tertiary colour, we need to copy this code again. Let's apply that. And the trim colour the same. I'm not entirely convinced about that actually. Let's see if we can fix it with a bit of a change to the sponsor colours, see if that helps. I was hoping for something a little bit more vivid. That's kind of cool. That too is pretty dope. Like the yellowy green should be an accent. I feel like that. I'm totally on board with that, but it does need to be visible. I might go with this actually. I've never used this one before, but the more I look at it, the more I quite like it. I sort of feel that has that become more yellow somehow? It feels like it should be more like that. Yeah, that's much better. I wasn't sure on the uniforms, but when I see it on the car, I think that looks much better. Hopefully you guys concur with that. I'm going to keep it like that on the logo just because it seems to look a bit different when rendered on the car, but I don't know, when I see it like that, it looks a bit too green, but it somehow gains yellow when it's on the car. Oh well, whatever, we'll stick with a bit more yellow, I think. Something more sort of... Is that actually any different? Who even knows? Anyway, there we go. I'm going to take that livery first time out, and obviously we can change it year on year. I need to get the blue for the dark sponsors. Shouldn't forget that. Superb. Superb. Now, I have finished editing my new team. Why, thank you. I'm going to go for the low pressure starting package. So we're going to have a small financial package, which does hurt, I'll be honest, it really does hurt. But we do get a 3-star chassis in the first season. And really, it's all about playing the long game, as it so often is. What I have learned over the games I've been playing in, let's call it my off-season, is that first of all, you have no incentive to expect a more experienced driver to help a younger driver develop. The game just doesn't work like that. So what I'm going to be doing is trying to find sort of a young talent that I can sign up for a reasonable length of time. We can always ditch him if someone more talented becomes an option. And then I want to partner him with a pay driver. And really, we're going to be very conservative in the first year. Very much like I play Grand Prix World, actually. We're going to have a very slow build-up over time. And we're going to rely on our engineering to really turn things around. On top of that, we will absolutely find ourselves really turning our season around on the basis of one or two very fortunate results. If you think like, how Sauber are at the moment, they're not competitive at every Grand Prix, but if they can just sort of sneak a cheeky few points somewhere, then you're going to be able to build on that over time, and that's really what we're aiming for. We need to replace our drivers. That's something that we're absolutely certain of. I'm going to say we're going to come last, and that's based on experience. Right, head to the scouting department. designer is obviously a pretty big deal. Now, having played this game before, I sort of know who I should be looking at. And it's this lady here, Karina Ryder. Very weak on the gearbox front, but you'll see that she's average or slightly above on the other areas. She's certainly the best free agent available to us. So I'm going to take her on because I'm not going to bullshit you and pretend I'm having to consider this. I'm really not. She's the most important element of our plan in many respects. I'm going to offer 163,333 per season. That's a little bit more than I would otherwise like to. I might even try knocking that down just a teeny bit more. We'll give her a medium contract. That's what she'd prefer. I think that's quite enough for that. And we will say 10th or above. So you can get 45 grand. I'm not sure she'll accept that offer, but we've got to try and save money where we can. Now, in terms of drivers, I'm a little bit less certain about what we want to be doing, to be perfectly frank with you. Same with race mechanics. So what I want to do is drivers, single seaters. Why am I not seeing any drivers? Ah, there we go. That's because we haven't scouted any of them. I'm going to go after people who don't have a team already. There's a very good reason for that. And it will help us avoid overpaying. At the moment, we don't have a lot of choice, actually. I'm keen to find people with a good feedback score, simply because it helps us set up the car. We also want people who are quite consistent. What I noticed, smooth even. Like, good smoothness and good cornering are really going to help us. The reason for that being that I've noticed that lockups can be particularly damaging in this game. Let's scout the three available agents. We might find ourselves having to keep one of the really crappy drivers that we've got. In terms of race mechanics, don't have a lot of option here either. Let's see. I want at least 2.5 stars. Is that at least 2 stars then? So that's Gary Watson. Wow, he doesn't look particularly attractive. We might have to poach people here. Let's go back to the driver screen, remove that age filter. Let's see if we've got a bit more choice now. William Evans, I know he's bad, so I'm never going to waste time with him. Ina Santa Anna. I believe actually she's quite good. That might be an option for us. Frankie Kinney. Falco Engelhardt. Let's see. Is there anyone else? Well, add Sarah Thomas back to the list. Although I'm quite familiar with Sarah's because I've used her in both of my off-season playthroughs. And she's a good stopgap driver, but she's really nothing special. And I'm sure there are better options available at the start of a new team playthrough. These guys have to go. They just have to. So let's see who we can attract over. Danny Cox, again, not fantastic. I'm trying to avoid people who have got red in any of the particular skills. That just seems overkill somehow. Let's try and find people who are in the European Racing Series already. Yeah, you're no good. You are an interesting one, Miss Barker. And you are interested. That is good news. Wow, you're going to be expensive. I can feel it. but it makes such a difference to your race performance. Let's try that. I'm probably being a bit too aggressive here. I realise I'm probably spending a little bit too much, but I'm hoping that that brave early investment is going to make a difference long term. Who else we got in the European Racing Series? Anybody? Anybody at all? I mean, she's got a lot of potential, but I don't think she'll sign with us. And that one part fix, that's really bad. I mean, that is not something I can really accept. She is interested though, that's a problem. Have we got anyone who's a bit more evenly balanced? You're no good either. About you? Yeah, reliability is a problem with him. I'm trying to minimize reliability problems. I mean, we can only get points if we can finish the race, and that's why part fixes and reliability and performance are so key. I mean, concentration and chemistry I could sort of let go for now. I wonder if this guy's interested. It's not an amazing fix. I wish I could apply a bit more detailed filtering, to be honest. See, that guy's alright if it wasn't for the 3 on part fixes. Because we're just gonna, I know we're gonna spend a lot of time in the pits. If you're developing your car, you're gonna have unreliable parts, and that means you need to have a good reliability score to try and get what you can out of them, and then good pit stop and good part fix skills to try and offset any inevitable failing in the design. And then performance is just, you know, obvious. It's important. Carlos Guerrera, at the moment I'm liking the look of him because he's young enough to develop a little bit. But Alex Barbosa, he might actually be the option that we go for. I'll try and pay him a little bit less. Let's see if that is of any interest at all to those guys. And I feel like I've compromised a little bit there, but I mean, we have to. We're not in a position to really attract the big hitters here. I'd really like to fill my drivers' positions before the Black Sea Grand Prix, but looking at the time it takes to scout people, that ain't gonna happen. And to be honest, I haven't really taken a close look at what our drivers are like, but they certainly don't look particularly encouraging. Yeah, to be honest, I think almost any option is going to be better than those guys. I might just take a punt here. Let's look at you. I know this is someone who gets signed consistently, and her cornering is really bad. Smoothness and feedback are not going to be fantastic either, but she's sort of average across the board, and she's usually in the mix fairly frequently. Yeah, Falco Engelhardt, you are looking very interesting to me, because even worst case scenario, braking is your only real failing. I think he makes for an excellent number 2 driver. Problem is, if I make him a number 2 driver, he's probably going to be better than whoever I hire to partner him. And we don't know what his traits are, so we don't know yet who's a pay driver. But looking at the potential range, score range of a lot of these people, I don't think there are many better options out there. Yeah, you're going to be shockingly bad. Scott Price, he's a bit mercurial as well. I think these are our two, actually. But Santa Ana will be our number 2. And I know that means I've not got a paid driver for the opening stage of the season, but I will pick one up at some point. I'm going to offer him the lowest amount I can. I'm going to offer him a long contract because he looks promising. I want to tie him in on a fairly... I'm not paying him $1 million a season, that just seems excessive for a rookie. We'll go sort of somewhere mid-table. I mean, he's getting the number 1 driver's job, so I think that's... And then you will be our number 2. I know you're not going to like that, but... we'll pay you maximum for it, because you're still on a lot less than the other guy. We'll offer you a medium length contract, so it's a bit easy to get out of. And then I will hold off to find someone with good feedback as a development driver. That's not a position that I need to fill right away. So what's the deal with you? You're complacent, but your feedback is 12, which is okay. What's the deal with you? You're a nice girl, that doesn't really count for much in this sport, unfortunately. And you're a narcissist, so the sooner we get rid of you, the better. So those have been our opening gambits. No sponsor offers on the table right now, that's to be expected. We're going to jog on just a little bit here and see if we can't start tying up some of these contracts. I really want to get people in place early because I paid the price for it previously. Alright, what are you unhappy with? Oh god, you want to go all the way with this, don't you? Fine. 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 Let's continue. I will do an interview, absolutely. It'll be a struggle, there's no denying it. I don't care if that pisses off the South African dude. Frankly, I haven't been blown away by either of them. In the World Sports Network season preview, I wrote that you're expected to finish 10th in the team's championship. Is that accurate, or do you think you can do any better? The prediction seems fair, but I'm hoping to surprise you. Option B, why not? Okay, you want to renegotiate as well. What are you unhappy with? Well, I can't give you much more money than that. To be honest, delighted and neutral seems like a combination she should sign on, but whatever. Let's see. Okay, so she's accepted, but we will sign you as Enos's race engineer. Okay, and then we want Alex Barbosa here. Let's see if he's signed. Excellent, he has. Assign you to replace him. was an expensive move, but it had to be made. Oh, we got a sponsor offer. Please be cash up front. Well, we'll take what we can get at this point. Okay, let's see who else we get. Excellent, he's accepted. Let's get him in position straight away. And our designer needs more money. God damn it. We haven't developed any parts for the car, but I didn't see the point, to be honest, when whatever she produces is going to be bullshit. I don't know if I want to take that, because we're never going to finish second, and we don't get any other money from them, so... yeah, these are not good deals for us. It's my only problem with the game, to be honest, because you're blocking off a sponsorship slot for no reason, because you're never going to get any of that money. So, no, I'm going to go in there just with Mr. Doe, big mustache man, pizza dude, all over my car. I don't give a fuck. I ain't going to sign contracts that don't make sense. Okay, let's see if she's accepted. And we've got 2 race drivers. Excellent. Let's get rid of Faith Anthony. Again, expensive move, but I feel it'll pay off. They're both on the same length of contract. Oh, we've got some more offers here. Upfront payment of $1 million. Now we're talking. So that'll do. We've got an extra offer here. That's better because we'll never meet the target, I don't think, but we get 750,000 up front, so it was smart to leave that slot open. What we got here? Upfront payment of 1.5 million. That's definitely going to happen. And here, fixed payment per race. So that's not a performance bonus. For 9 races? Yeah, we'll take that. Now we're looking a little bit fuller. What we've got here? No, that's still not going to happen. So that makes me happy. We've got a fairly full sponsorship package. I still think that's a mechanic of the game that could be filled out a little bit more. You know, add an element of negotiation in there, make us be a bit more proactive rather than sitting around waiting for people to bring stuff to us, but nevertheless. So now we have our race drivers in place, we have our race engineers in place, we're just waiting for our new lead designer to decide to sign. We were a bit rash, we sort of jumped the gun a little bit and made some snap judgments in terms of drivers, but I'm quite happy with the end result. I still think we probably could have got ourselves a better second driver. We've got the reserve slot open as well technically, but I'm going to just leave them in there for the moment. We've not developed the car or the headquarters. I'm holding on to my money for now, unless there really is something cheap. I mean, a forecasting centre would be good, to be honest, because that's where we're going to make the most gains actually through weather. But also, I want to save up to improve the factory and the design centre. There's a lot of depth here, which I'm very grateful they put in, but it means during the early stages of a playthrough like this, we've got both hands tied firmly behind our backs. I'm not going to spend any more money going into the first round, simply because I want to see where we are. I want to see how the drivers take to the car. I mean, we apparently have the second best drivers on the grid, but we have the worst car, seventh worst headquarters, 9th best staff, and 6th best sponsorship package. So it's a mixed bag, but we certainly aren't lacking for talent in the cockpit. We just need to be able to extract some performance from the car, and that is a very long process because we need to build the factory up before we can really make any gains there. We're relying very much on driver talent and reliability at this point. We're not going to take any upgrades to the Black Sea Grand Prix. I hope you'll join me in the next episode, which will be very shortly on the heels of this one, where we will be qualifying, practicing, racing, and all that good stuff in the Black Sea. And that's going to be my new structure now, really. This is sort of your introductory episode, and then each episode will, instead of me separating practice and qualifying from race, we're going to do the whole thing as one episode. And then following that, you'll have the in-between race segments mixed in with the next round, and we'll just sort of keep working like that until the entire season is complete. Guys, thank you for your patience while I've been away. I hope all of you are super well and having a fantastic time, whatever you're choosing to do with the last day of the weekend. I'm going to go to an outdoor cinema in a bit. That's my plan. Have a beer for me, I'm going to have one for you, and we will talk again very soon. Bye bye now.